Hey everyone, this is James Renz here, and I am going to be doing a videoed walkthrough of the current speedrun route for Final Fantasy IV. This is the any percent route, so it's not the boosted route. Those are the only two options we have right now. I'm going to split this into 2 or 3 parts, just to make it easier to record, but also for you to find specific things so you're not having to go through one long video. To start with, you're going to want to make sure you have saves set up at various points of the speed run so that you can go back and practice individual sections. And I will actually be using these throughout these videos to help jump around some so that we don't have to watch all of the cutscenes and go through all of the gameplay. And I will be skipping some minor parts of gameplay just to get to the more major sections of the speed run. Particularly big cutscenes or big sections where we're just running from enemies. And actually, I'm going to use the feature that allows me to turn off encounters so that you don't have to watch me just running from enemies, so that we can get to the good stuff. So, we're going to start here, just outside of Baron. We are about 7.5 minutes into the run at this point, and we are going to go into our configuration menu. We're going to make battle speed and battle messages very fast. I personally do not like cursor memory on. I like to know where it's starting from every time. Continuous auto battle will be on. That means that every time the battle starts, the auto battle is already going. You're going to want to make sure that you are turning that off if you're trying to run, but it makes the battle come up quicker each time. So you want to have that on and you want it to stay on. And our default speed is going to be to run. So we're going to come out of there, we're going to go into equip, and we are going to remove all from Kain and Cecil. And the purpose for this is all of our characters will have their ATBs fill faster if they are essentially naked. This doesn't show up in their stats, but it is a very real thing that happens. And we're going to use that to our advantage quite a bit throughout this run. So we're going to go down, we're going to grab a chocobo out of the forest down there. That just keeps us from getting any encounters on the overworld, and it's faster. We're going to run through the cave here, the mist cave. Get no chests. So we will hit a trigger tile right here that will trigger a new battle. Before I say yes, let me kind of go through what we're going to do with this battle. Since our characters are naked, they have more speed. Some old versions of the route had Kain naked, but Cecil kept his armor and weapons and all, or kept all of his armor on. We are going to remove the armor from Cecil as well. So he's going to get in some extra attacks that we normally, or at least in the past, we have not been able to do. So the way this is going to work is we're going to time it off of Kain's jumps. Kain is going to get a regular attack in to start with, so we're just going to hit auto battle. And then Kain's going to get 1 jump in before the dragon turns to its first mist phase. After that, Kain is going to get 3 jumps in. Cecil also getting about 5 attacks in, I believe. And before that next mist phase. If we're really lucky, we get some critical attacks. She will die before that second mist phase. Most likely, she's going to survive, and it's going to take 1 or 2 hits after that second mist phase to kill her. If it takes more than that, then we were getting low rolled on damage, and the battle's going to drag out a little bit longer. We'll see how this goes here. We're going to hit auto battle right off. Hopefully Kain is getting his attack first. If not, it just means we got to be careful. See? So there's 1, 2, and then the third time that he defends, I'm going to queue him up on his next turn. So he's defended twice. Kain has defended twice. we are going to make sure that he then starts to jump on his next turn. 3, and get ready to jump. Wait for Cecil, and then we're good to go. So there's 1 jump for Kane. 2 jumps for Kane. Kane's damage is usually between 40 and 60, and so far he's been doing closer to 40. 2, 3. On this next one, I want to wait a second, because sometimes it can be a little too early. There's the Mist Dragon fight. There's nothing major to do after this. We go into the Village Mist. We deliver the package. You're going to want to make sure that you defend for the battle with Rydia and the Titan. There's no way to win the battle. We're just going to take a loss and move on. Auto battle is still going. So just make sure that you turn it off so that you can set it to defend. The one thing to note there is not all of the scripted or boss fights will start with auto battle. And I don't really know that there's a rhyme or reason to it. Some of them auto battle goes right away. Some of them it does not. Some of them auto battle is on, I believe, for the King and Queen Eblin, and you can't change it. It's whatever it was already set. Actually, coming into that menu, you want to hold up and diagonal, or up and to the right, so diagonal, so that you immediately start walking diagonal into this mountain range. If you can save every step possible, you can lessen your chances of getting an encounter through here. Occasionally, on the last step or two, you could end up with an encounter. And obviously, we don't want one. There's nothing to do through here. If you have a turbo controller, just hold the turbo button so that it just keeps going. So we're going to get a fight with the guards here. Your auto battle's already running, and normally it saves your last action. But in this case, we just defended, but it doesn't matter. We'll still attack first. So let auto battle roll, and that will ensure that we get our attack in before the soldiers do. Before, when we did not unequip Cecil, sometimes the ATB would be a little slow on him and he would get attacked first. And that would drag that battle on for an extra 10-15 seconds. Now, with Cecil being naked, I don't think I've ever seen him not get his attack first. I've actually seen him on a couple of times be able to attack the general. So we're going to come over. That guy's going to get in our way. Talk to Rosa. Then leave. Not go down there. Grab the ether. And then again, we're going to hold up and to the right diagonal so we can start walking straight this way. You will get one encounter through here to just run from. Come up and talk to Tella. So our goal through here is now to get one of two possible encounters. One would be the 2 evil shells or this one right here. So, which they used to be called something different in SNES version. The evil shells and then the, whatever that guy's, water bug. So we are going to have Cecil and Rydia defend, and Tella is going to cast Thunder on them all. Something I'm going to do on this battle, and this is going to set me up for Aquaman, is I'm going to have Cecil attack first, which actually will help because sometimes Tella will low roll, and that will cause him to retreat, and then you don't get the experience, and then you have to take another battle. Because the goal here is to build Rydia's level so that she has enough magic so that she can cast Chocobo at Antlion, and it's to raise Cecil's level enough so that he gets to level 13 by the time we get to Antlion. And that just helps that battle go faster as well. So Cecil's going to attack now. And I really should have been able to push auto battle, but I accidentally attacked with Rydia. So, as we can see, Tella did not low roll there, but that's fine. So now they're both ready to go. So when we get to Octomammoth, I can hit auto battle, and I don't need to try and get anyone to defend or do any menu work at all. So we're going to come down, we're going to grab the bomb fragment and the 580 gil. We'll come down here. We'll need that hourglass for later. That casts stop on all enemies. And then another sword for Cecil that we will need for the next battle, the next few battles. So we're getting the Hades armor there and the Hermes shoes. The armor, while we would love for Cecil to be able to run naked as much as possible, him having no armor through this battle a lot of times will mean he dies. And while it makes him faster, it's a risk that you would run to try and speed the battle up. It is a risk that you can take, and it can shave some time off of the battle. So it's kind of up to you whether or not you want to try and do that. You can do the same for the Antlion fight coming up, but for the sake of this walkthrough to make things easier, I'm going to him with all of his armor on. So we're going to come in. Our goal here is to put Tella and Iridia in the front row because we want them to die. So we're going to then go into the equip menu. We're going to remove all. Then we're going to optimize Cecil, remove all Tella. And then we're ready to go. If for some reason Cecil got hit coming into here and his HP is low, you might want to use Tella's magic to cure him. But most of the time, it's not a problem. So we're going to go in and face Octomammoth. Like I said earlier, we set up auto battle. There's nothing that we need to do. We're just going to come in, hit auto battle, and let it go until probably the end of the fight. If Tella is still alive on the last arm, then I need to have Tella use fire on himself to kill himself. Most of the time, that is the case. What we're hoping for is that he only has to do it once, and he doesn't have to attack himself 2 or 3 times, because that, not only is it extra time, but you stand the chance of possibly killing Octomammoth before Tella can kill himself. So we're hoping that Tella doesn't have to use fire on himself at all, or that it's just one time he has to do it. So here we go. Since I had Cecil attack earlier, he's already set up. So let auto battle go. Once he gets down to 2 arms, Tella has a dialogue that comes up, so you're going to want to make sure that you are ready to go through that dialogue, and you're not waiting for the game to scroll it for you. So he's not being very nice right now. I need him to hit Tella more. So I'm going to have to start having Tella attack himself. Time loss or not, Tella has to be dead before this battle is over. Alright, there, we're good. Now we're hoping Cecil doesn't die. Sometimes he can really just pick on Cecil, and as we see, he did that there. So we're just crossing our fingers that Cecil survives. That would have been an instance where, had we run Cecil naked, he would have been faster, but Cecil probably would have died there and it would have been a reset. So, like I said, it's a risk that you take if you want to run Cecil naked there to save a few seconds. There's one chest that we want to grab in here, and then I'm going to actually skip some gameplay so that we can get back to the good stuff. But before I skip, we want to come in here, and I want to grab a few things. Now, something that I have started grabbing is this potion right here, and that is not in my current version of notes, unless those notes have been updated since you've watched this. But we're going to grab those chests that I just grabbed right in there. And those items were, there was a Phoenix Down, there's an elixir, we need that for later, there's a holy arrow, we need that for later. There might have been an ether in there, and we do need to collect some ethers to use possibly towards the end of the game. And then that potion we're going to use. So as we come back, we want to diagonal a step after that column. If you diagonal at the column, you're going to run into that wall right there. So if you're holding diagonal and you immediately run diagonal, you're going to hit that and stand a chance of running out of the town. So if you want to come down, you can even go a little bit further. Just make sure that you don't hit this wall as you are coming down, because coming out of the town is going to take up extra time, and we don't want to spend time. So I'm going to skip ahead now to Antlion. We're going to skip the whole Spoony Bard cutscene, and we're going to go ahead and come inside, and immediately we're going to optimize Iridia so that she can withstand any potential attacks. A few things we're going to grab. We need the spider silks for the end of the game, which I always love that we're grabbing things now that we're going to need all the way at the end of the game. We will need that Antarctic wind later. We're going to come into the save area. The main thing we need is that emergency exit to allow us to get out of here more quickly after we kill Antlion. But we're also going to grab the Ether and the Phoenix down. Come up here, another Spider Silk. We will grab a total of 5. Just noticed I don't have the potion on this save, so I can't show using the potion. But our goal with the potion would be if Rydia gets hit with counterattack or gets hit with a regular attack, we can have Edward throw the potion so that she has a better chance of being able to use all of her casts of Chocobo. That will make the battle go faster if she can cast all 3 of her Chocobos. Antlion likes to pick on her. She sometimes dies before she can even get the first one off. So it's really kind of an RNG thing here. If you have the ability to have her queue up her attack before Cecil attacks, it can help some. So she's already been attacked. This might be a case where I go ahead and have Edward throw the potion. She actually does not have enough MP to cast it again. So depending on the encounter you get in the underground waterway, that will determine the levels that she gains and how much MP she has. We actually do want her to die. We don't need her gaining levels. Here we go. Because if she's dead, then all of her EXP is funneled to the remaining party members alive in the battle. We also have a shadow party right now existing of Wayne and Rosa, who are getting that same amount of EXP. So they are gaining levels as well. So there are times when we want certain characters to die to try and funnel more EXP, not only to our current party, but to the shadow party that we're waiting to join back later in the game. All right, we are going to emergency exit out. There's not really anything to do through here except watch cutscene. Edward does have his battle with the Sahagin during the night after we cure Rosa, but for that battle you basically just attack and then set auto battle, and it's pretty straightforward. So I'm going to skip ahead to just outside of Mount Hobbs. We will take a look at the Mom Bomb fight. Most likely you will get one encounter through here. So for this fight coming up, I'm going to talk about it while Yang is doing his thing. We're going to have Cecil and Yang do the attacking, and everyone else will defend. After 4 or 5 rounds of attacks, the smaller bomb will turn into the big balloon cloud bomb. And she says, I'm getting ready to blow. So we wait for her to blow, and she blows up into the 6 smaller bombs. We can't do anything while she's the big bomb, the big balloon cloud-looking bomb. So for that part, we're going to just wait. We're going to defend with Rydia and Edward. We're going to wait. We're actually going to go on to Rosa, and we're going to hold her turn until we see the flash animation for the bomb to start to blow. It's at that point we want to cure Cecil to make sure that he has enough HP to cast Darkness. Because that saps his HP with every usage, we want to make sure that he has enough HP to survive. So we are going to cure him. Edward and Rydia will either be dead or still on defend, and then we're going to have Cecil cast Darkness and Yang do kick. That will be after the split. So for now, like I said, we're just going to attack. Cecil and Yang, everybody else will defend, and we're just going to auto battle. Like I said, it takes 4 or 5 rounds. We just went through 2 rounds. 3. Yang misses like that, it's going to make more. That's 4, I think. There you go. So now we're just going to wait. So we're going to wait. We see the flash. Now we're going to cure Cecil, kick, Darkness, defend Edward. Yang is pretty low. He might die. It's actually going to work out pretty well. You can have Rosa defend there. Save that little bit of time for animation, but it just depends on how the ATBs are stacked up, whether or not that's going to cause you to have to re-queue up Cecil or Yang for their next attack. I just let her go, let her cast the cure. She'll automatically cast cure on the lowest HP party member, which in that case was herself. And that will just help ensure that I have more people able to survive and run as I go back towards Fabul later on. So we are going to go into the menu. We are going to remove all Cecil and equip just his sword. This is going to help him flee faster on the way to Fabul. It's also going to help his ATB come up quicker in the Fabul Gauntlet. We want that ATB to fill up quickly through the Gauntlet section because, particularly the guard fights, we want to end them quickly. Otherwise, the guards are going to all get a turn, and that drags the fight on. With him being mostly naked, we will be able to get his turn probably first, and then we will be able to run buffer, go into the item menu, and throw either Antarctic Winds or Zeus's Wrath. But we'll get to that. So we're in the menu here. Again, Cecil naked. Remove all Rosa. Come up to Edward. He's going to get Holy Arrow and Bow. And then we're ready to go. I will skip ahead to that part. Before we go and talk to the king, we want to come through here. A couple of things we need to grab. We want another Antarctic Wind. We want a bomb fragment. We will need that later, and the Zeus's Wrath. We're going to need every single one of these items. We don't really want to skip that. If you have your turbo going and you're just scrolling through text, be careful after the second text box with Edward. That's when the prompt comes up. We don't want to say no, because then we leave the room and we have to come back in and go through the dialogue all over again. So this battle right here, your auto battle is going to be running. So in this case, since I reloaded a save, the auto battle is not running. On a normal run through, your auto battle is going to be going. You're going to want to turn it off so that you can gain control of your party. So this right here is where we're going to be doing our first instance of run buffering. Whenever the first turn comes up, I need to hit the R and L button to try and run. That's going to display the can't run message at the top, which when that is displayed, stops all ATBs, characters and enemies. But since I'm in the menu, I can still queue up an action. So even though ATB is not running, I don't need it to run on that particular character because their turn has already come up. So I can go ahead and queue the attack without losing those frames of going moving the cursor around, which in this battle right here, every last frame counts before they will get a turn to attack. You can see right now where the ATBs are, they're all pretty much even, which means they probably started pretty low. So I'm going to be really close to being able to get this off. So let's see. So you saw, can't escape, popped up at the top. I hit that, so I tried to run before I went into the menu. Another thing, if you're trying to go to an item, just push up so that the cursor cycles back to the bottom of the list. Don't try and push the cursor all the way down the list. Just push up, and that will get you down to the items. So we're here on the Zeus's Wrath. We're going to go over that. We'll defend with everyone else. Make sure you turn auto battle back on before the end of the battle so that the next battle starts quickly. So for this next battle, each character is going to attack a specific enemy, and we're going to hope for a one-shot kill. So Cecil is going to hit the Sahagin at the top, Yang's going to hit the Imp at the bottom, and then the Leshy in the background, that's going to be Edwards. Oh, and I did auto battle. Fortunately, Cecil attacked who he was supposed to. So Edward can low roll, and we're just hoping that he doesn't. If he survives the Mom Bomb fight, if he survives Antlion, his levels, he will have gained some levels, and that will help. But it's still not a guarantee that he's not going to low roll. So right here, again, so you saw, run buffer there, so I tried to run as soon as Edward's turn came up, and then I went into the item menu immediately, and now I was able to attack before the guards got their turns. Next one is a single enemy. We're just gonna a lot of times Edward can one-shot with that. For some reason he has a low roll in here, so and one last fight with guards. Yeah, see, it wasn't quick enough. So even though I run buffer, it wasn't fast enough. You saw what happened there. Really drug the battle on. And because I'm talking, I didn't have them defend. Which just highlights the importance of making sure that you don't just run auto battle after you queue up that the Antarctic Wind or the Zeus's Wrath. You want to make sure that you defend so that they don't start attacking the captain or the general. Because we're not trying to kill him, we just wanted to run away. So again, auto battle will be running here. Depending on what Cecil did in the last battle, will determine what his actions are queued up for. We want him to defend. Not gonna beat Kane today, so. So we have a few items we're going to grab after this cutscene. We used to grab Hermes shoes, which are just when you come out of the doorway from the crystal room. But we didn't use the Hermes shoes earlier that we grabbed in the underground waterway. So we are going to skip those right there because we already have some. And we're going to use those later. But we are going to go over to the right side of the throne. there's a secret passage there. We will grab another spider silk. Again, we're going to have a total of 5 that we're grabbing throughout this game. We will use 2 for Rubicante and 3 for Zeramus. We're ready to go. This bottom one has an ether as well. You can grab that if you think you might need to use more ethers. Generally, when we are healing later in the game, especially once Cecil becomes a paladin, we want to use Cecil's magic to cure people. We don't want to use Tella's magic because Tella will need his magic for pretty much all of the fights that we have him for. And we will have high potions, but it's just up to you whether you think it's quicker to go and use magic or to use high pots. With magic, we can cast it on everyone at once. So generally, it's going to be quicker to use magic. And I would normally skip ahead, but there's one more item to grab. And then we will move ahead to Mazidia. We don't need to watch the whole scene. Sorry, my puppy's jumped up with me and she's losing her mind now. So you saw we grabbed the Bacchus cider out of that pot there. And we will need that for later as well. So all that we have to do from this point is leave the town and go jump in the ship. So we will assume that we've done that, and let's go on to Mazidia. So we're going to come over here to the left. That guy's going to get in our way. Now there's a menu trick that you can use on almost all of the Pixel remasters. And I say it's only in the stores, magic and armor and weapons, not in the item stores. But there's a menu trick. If you notice when you go into the thing, into the menu, the characters swipe across the bottom, and until they come all the way across, you can't do anything. So if you go into talk to the shopkeeper. If you cancel before you do anything, and then you go back into the buy menu, you can actually save a few frames for every time you shop. So it allows you to go into the buy menu more quickly than if you were to wait for the characters to scroll across. So I did not demonstrate doing it without the menuing trick, but it's faster in some of the PRs than others, and some of them you have to wait longer for the characters to come across. In this case, since I only have 3 characters, it's not as long. When we get a full party of 5 characters, it takes longer for them to scroll across the screen. So it's just something that I do out of habit on all of the stores. So when we come in, we want to optimize. If we go into Quorum first, it'll allow us to go remove, and then change Cecil's sword. Again, we're going to leave him naked. The reason why we bought the flame rods... Oh, you see what I did? Optimal, and then change. So we're not removing, we're optimizing. The reason we bought the flame rods is they increase intellect, they increase magic. So that will make his spells hit for more. We bought 2 of them because at some point we're going to have Tella back in the party, and we want Tella to have one as well. The wizard hat also increases intellect and spirit. Spirit is for white magic, intellect is for black magic. So this is going to up the power of his spells. We will be putting the flame rods on different magic characters throughout the rest of the run to increase the power of their spells, and it really does make a difference. You think, oh, it's just 3 intellect. No, this makes a big difference. Like up to the difference between a 2,500 damage roll and a 3,500 damage roll with Rydia during the Rubicante fight. So it really makes a big difference later on. We're going to come in here and we are going to sell pretty much everything all the way down. And if you have gotten no extra items, you're going to get to that point just by selling. So then we're going to come down, sell ruby armlet. We don't want to sell the ether. We'll sell all the iron armlets that aren't equipped. We want to sell pretty much everything. We need an iron arrow for later. We don't need any more dark or Hades. We don't need the staff. We don't need the dark shield. We need the holy arrow. Cecil's going to be using that to get off the mountain. The iron arrow is going to go on Sid for the dark elf fight so that he has something metal equipped so that that first fight ends early. We don't need the ice rod. The flame rod provides us magic. The crossbow is going to go on Cecil to get off of the mountain earlier, and the light shield will go on Cecil when we're done with the mountain when he puts a sword back on. That just helps his defense a little bit. You might not actually need that, it's just something I've always grabbed. So now we're going to buy 8 potions. I bought 9 on accident. It's not a big deal. 20 high potions and 8 Phoenix Downs. And then we're ready to go. So from here, we just walk over to the mountain. We're running from everything. There's a little cutscene where Palom has to take out the fire that's blocking the mountain. We will run into Tella again, and then we will continue going up the mountain. But I am going to skip ahead to that part. All right, so here we are. You're going to want to sort your items because we might be needing to use potions. We probably will need to use potions during this battle, and we don't want to have to go digging through the menu to find those potions. We'll also be needing to use high potions frequently during the grind after this, so we don't want to have to be searching for those. So the trigger tile is right one step ahead of where I am right now, and we'll start talking to Scarmiglion. Most likely, Cecil is going to get his turn first. Sometimes Tella will queue up before Cecil, sometimes one of the twins. But most of the time it's going to be Cecil, again, because he's running naked right now. His first attack, he's going to attack Scarmiglion. Tella is going to use a bomb fragment, and that will take out all of his ghouls around him, and the twins are going to twin. After that, it kind of depends on what Scarmiglion does. We need to make sure the twins don't die before they can get their first or second cast of twin out, so we might need to throw potions on them because he starts spamming lightning spells. Depending on who he uses lightning on, if the twins are at full health and Cecil gets his next turn, then Cecil can attack himself. If they're full and Tella gets his next turn, if the twins are good and Tella gets his next turn, Tella can use fire on Cecil just to help kill Cecil. Because at the end of this battle, we want Cecil to be dead, and we want Porum to be dead. We want just Palom and Tella to be alive. Ideally, even Palom would be dead, but there's just not an easy way to make that happen that we've figured out so far. So again, that's going to funnel more experience into mainly Tella is what we're looking for, but then also that shadow party of Pain and Rydia. The next battle, we're then going to try and kill off Palom to make sure that Tella gets all the experience, and that also increases the experience that our shadow party gets. So this is one of the battles where you can start with auto battle. It will not automatically have auto battle going, but you can have it run. But you don't want to let it go. You want to make sure you control Cecil's action. So you can see right here, Cecil's going to get to attack him, Scarmiglion. Oh, and these are called skull knots, I guess. I don't know what they were called in the SNES version, but it wasn't that. I just call them all ghouls because that was kind of the traditional name for them. It looks like Palom's going to get the next turn, so we are going to have Palom win. And I might even do a little run buffer there just to kind of... Go, bomb fragment. All those guys. So, we're going to go ahead and potion him because... Good. What I want to do, if he casts Pyro again, so 2 Pyros, and that's enough HP off of Scarmiglion to where he's dead. Since Cecil attacked with the Deathbringer, it has an effect of bringing automatic death. So even though he's not dead right now, he is dead. As soon as I queue up this action, and we're hoping that it kills her, as soon as I queue up this action and he takes the action, he'll have just enough time to cast fire, and then Scarmiglion will announce that he's dead, and the battle will be over. Perfect. And there we go. In the Sinestro version, he would yell out, "Oh, my body!" and then he would die. But I guess they took that part out. Alright, so in this next battle, we are going to get back attacked, and the goal is just to have Tella throw an elixir. But we're hoping that Palom can be dead first. If we're lucky, Scarmiglion Z will hit Palom and kill him. It's possible he'll hit Tella. If he hits Tella instead, then we're going to have Palom use a spell on himself to kill himself. Sure that we are going through that text. Oh, he's dead. So there we go. That's all we need. This battle can be tricky if you have Porum still alive, or Cecil, or all of them still alive. You're going to need to try and kill off as many as you can, but not let the battle drag on. So it's really kind of a... you kind of have to decide what you want. If you want to spend more time trying to kill off those characters to funnel more experience to characters you need, or if you want to save a few seconds. So certainly if Palom is still alive, you can have him use Belazara on either Cecil or Porum. Cecil can try and attack, but the problem with Cecil trying to attack is his hit is lower, his hit rate's lower in the back row. So if he's trying to kill himself, he's going to miss most of the time. If you have him attack Porum, it's a little better since she's in the front row. The hit rate will be a little better. You'll have a better chance of him trying to kill her than you will him trying to kill himself. It's almost always will fail. So then if Palom still being alive, you would have Palom cast Belazara on himself to kill himself, and you might just have to deal with the fact that Cecil lives through the battle. So ideally, Cecil can kill himself in the first battle and not have to try and do it in the second battle. Again, Cecil has the Deathbringer sword, which can cause instant death, so he can instant kill himself in the first battle without taking all of his HP. It really just depends. Sometimes it hits and sometimes it doesn't. But we're going to skip, go through all of the cutscenes. Remember, when Cecil is a new paladin, he cannot, or in that battle, he cannot try to kill Dark Knight Cecil. He has to defend. So once we come out, the first thing we want to do is change rows. We want Cecil in the back so that he doesn't hit as hard. We're going to remove all from Porum and then optimize Cecil. That gives him the wizard hat and off of Porum, which gives him a little more defense. But we're going to change out his weapons for Holy Arrow and Crossbow. So now he's back row. Tella is just hanging on, which is what we wanted. And then we are going to start grinding. So the first thing we want to do is make sure Tella kills himself. This battle that we're in right here is probably one of the worst ones we can get. It's a longer battle and it does not give us as much EXP. But we're just going to take it because trying to run and hope for a better battle, it might work out and it might not. And most of the time that I've tried it, it does not work out. So just take the battle. This is one of the parts of the game where you just have to take what it gives you. You might get off the mountain quickly. You might get off the mountain really slow. You might lose a minute or two here. And it's unfortunate you just take what the game gives you. There are some routes that have you skipping this part. But I don't know how efficient they are. I would say the goal would be to build your levels up as close to 20 as you can get, because that gives you a higher DPS later on in the game. So, going to unpause. Oh, he's still alive, or she's still alive. So I'm going to have Cecil attack her. And I'm going to pause for a second. So Tella is going to kill himself. If he still has full HP, he needs to use bio on himself. If he has low HP, you can just grab the first spell, which is fire, and take him out. So again, we're funneling all of the EXP through Cecil and through our Shadow Party. For that first battle, you might want to throw a high pot on Cecil. And this is what we're hoping for. So for the Liliths, you want to make sure that you throw a high pot on them. If you try to attack them, you will not kill them, and then they counterattack with some nasty stuff. So it's best just to throw a high pot. We are getting probably the most optimal thing we can get. You're seeing we gained just 2 levels right there. We're going to run back and forth right here until we get to about 19 or 20. All right, so for these enemies right here, so these are one of the 2 problematic packs you can run into. You want to bomb fragment them. We still have 1 left. Hoping it kills most of them. I've never had it kill all of them. And just run auto battle to finish them off. So we're at level 17. And I still have an hourglass to use. So if I run into that arrangement again, I can throw an hourglass and it'll help. But there's another arrangement where I can have 2 of the ghoul-type creatures and then 2 or 3 of the spirits. And those take a long time to clear out because of the number of enemies and also the fire spell animation of the spirit-type creatures. So we're going to throw the hourglass on those battles as well. For that battle, that's automatic. If you run into that battle with the 2 to 3 spirits and then the rest of the enemies are ghouls, so you've got a pack of like 5 or 6 enemies, we're going to throw the hourglass automatically. You can't throw the bomb fragment because the bomb fragment, the fire damage does not hurt the spirit type enemies, it actually heals them. So we are at level 18. Last battle was not the best. Level at all on it. This is going to get us to 19, and so now we're going to fight off the mountain. I really kind of want to show that enemy pack we could get. That's it, but I got back attacked, which is not the best. So this is one of the arrangements. So there's one where you'll have, you know, the 4 of the ghoul-type creatures and 2 of the spirit-type creatures, and then there's another layout where you'll have 3 of the spirit-type creatures in the front, and I think it's 2 to 4 ghouls in the back. You're going to want to throw the hourglass here. Which makes it not a bad battle, because you do get a lot of EXP. The problem is, if you get this battle and you've already used the hourglass, then it really drags on. This is going to give us what we need. Might take another battle or 2 to get to level 20, but that really sets you up for higher damage rolls later on in the game. And, you know, if it takes 20 to 30 seconds off of each boss battle as you go throughout the game, the extra minute and a half that you spent, that really starts to become worth it. You start to get a better return on that investment of time. Once you get to about level 19, you can try 18 as well. You can then start fighting your way off the mountain. In here, it's most likely you'll still get a decent encounter that will give some decent experience, although there are some lower experience encounters. On this last stage, your chances of getting a good experience encounter are lower, although I have hit a Lilith, my last step on the way out, on a few runs before. So it's up to you kind of as you come off the mountain what encounters you choose to take. I'm going to pause in a moment because we don't need to see all the cutscene. But I don't have a save that's right before the Yang fight, and I want to show that fight. So we're going to run all the way back with the Chocobo. And you can do with your Chocobos when you get to your destination is if you keep holding the D-pad, you'll actually walk over onto the town that you're trying to go into. We are going to revive Tella, cure him and Cecil, and then we're going to go and talk to the Elder. So I'm actually going to pause it here so that we don't have to watch all of this cut. Right, so we talked to the Elder. We came through the Serpent Road. Now we're in the town of Baron. We're going to come over to the inn. We're going to have two battles here. So we'll talk to Yang. The first thing we'll fight are the two guards. We want Tella to cast a bio on both guards. We do not want Cecil to attack because then they will counterattack with Mini. For Yang, this is a scripted battle. There's nothing we can do, so we're going to defend until he kicks the second time. Make sure that you are engaging with the text at the top of the screen so that it goes. So we want to defend once, then attack, and then that's over. We'll have a little bit of a cutscene here. Okay, I'll pause while we get through the cutscene. Right, that little cutscene is over. So we want to come into the weapon and armor shop. And this will be the first time that we've seen this little menu that pops up. It would have popped up when we got to Rosa and Kaipo. We skipped that part of the walkthrough just because there was not a need to show all that. But when this menu pops up, if we push left on the D-pad, it will always take us to the end of the list, whatever the last item we got was. And because of the way the story goes, we are always going to need to use just the last item in the list. So if that menu, when that menu pops up, if you always push left on the D-pad, you're always going to be on the item you need. So you don't have to go searching through and trying to figure out what it is you need. You just push left on the D-pad, hit confirm, and you're good to go. So again, we're going to see the canceling and reconfirming of the menu trick. So you saw how it was faster there because I didn't have to wait for 5 characters to scroll across the bottom. Also, I want to make sure at the end of that shop, right there, that I have 10,000 gil left. I should, unless you just skipped a lot of battles coming off of Mount Ordeals. We're going to buy 4 headbands and 2 Kenpo Gis. These are going to raise the attack power of whoever is using them, the strength of whoever's using them, and that is going to be important for us throughout the run. So to do this menu, we're actually going to menu most of our characters. We're going to optimize Cecil. The problem with optimizing Cecil is it's going to want to put that wizard hat on him. So anytime we optimize, we're going to need to go in and manually equip the headband, So then we will hit the... If you hit the R and L button at the top, it'll automatically scroll to the next character. We don't need to do anything for Porum. We're going to optimize Yang. We're going to optimize Tella. That puts the Flame Rod on him and the Wizard Hat, which increases magic, which we need for the few battles coming up. We're also going to leave everybody in the back row. This will not necessarily help us to flee faster, but it will put Pollum and Porum in the front, and we don't necessarily need them coming up, so they can kind of be meat shields for us a little bit. It's not 100% necessary, but we don't need to worry about trying to change them right now. We're going to do that in just a moment. Again, I have encounters turned off. Nothing to grab through here, so it's just run through. You don't get any back attacks. We get to this screen right here. We're going to change rows, move Tella, swap Tella with Porum, use Cecil's magic to heal if we needed to heal anyone, and then we are ready to go. The next screen will have us where Baigan comes out. The reason why I did all that menuing there is if something goes wrong in the Baigan fight and you have to reset, you'll reset from autosave, and the autosave happened after we did all those menus. So generally, if you have menuing to do, you want to do it before the doorway to the next enemy, if you can, so that the autosave has all of that stuff already done for you. So in the Baigan fight, we're going to have Cecil and Yang attack the body. We want Pollum to cast Blazara on Baigan's left arm, which when you're looking at him, it's on the right, the one closest to the party. We want Blazara on that first arm, and this is why he's got a Flame Rod and a Wizard Hat to up his magic. We're hoping that he kills that arm. Porum is going to defend, and then after Pollum casts Blazara, we're going to have Tella cast Thundaga on the body. The reason why we have to wait is once Tella casts Thundaga on the body, Baigan's going to respond with using Reflect. He does not respond with using Reflect if you attack the arm with Blazara. So if you do Tella first, then he's going to do Reflect, and Reflect goes across all parts, and then when Pollum tries to cast Blazara, you're going to get reflected on, and it's going to kill Pollum. So we need to actually wait, because most of the time Tella's going to get his turn first. And we're hoping that Baigan does not hit Pollum and kill him while we're waiting. If for some reason the arm doesn't die, then you need to have Cecil or Yang attack the arm in their next turn, because the arm can cast Entangle, which puts a hold on one of your characters. For a safety strat, you could have Cecil or Yang attack the arm first. Back in the past, we would have Cecil and Yang start on the arm, and then they would automatically move to the body, and Pollum would not cast Blazara. But we're hoping that him casting Blazara on the arm speeds the battle up a little bit. If you're really lucky, you can actually kill him before he even gets to the haste, where he casts haste on the party. So she's gonna Cecil. So we're good. So Blazara and then Thundaga on the bottom. Let's see if it rolls high enough. It did. So now we're good. Now Tella low rolled, but that's whatever. So we attack. We need to make sure that we defend Pollum and we defend Tella. Defend. Because we don't want them casting the spell again, because then it's going to get reflected back on them. Likely going to get a counter right there. As long as Tella is not in critical health, you should be good to go. he needs 60 MP for the next battle, and he needs... Well, now he's in critical health, but 89 will be fine. He's in the back row. In my notes, I have Cecil and Yang defending in this battle. And actually, I can probably show it both ways. So I'm going to show the way it is in my notes, but I'm going to show a new way afterwards. The way it is in my notes is pretty simple. It's telecasting Thundaga twice. Most likely, Cecil and Yang will get their turns first. We will have them defend, and at Kanyatso's second attack, his second attack animation will actually be him building up the water. So at that flash of that second attack is when we want to have Tella queue up his Thundaga cast. So we're going to defend for both of them. There's the flash. And we will set up Thundaga. And so here you can just let auto battle roll, and it will happen. Everything that needs to happen will happen. So let me show you now a different way that I've been doing it. It's actually having Cecil and Yang attack. If you got Cecil to level 20 coming off of Mount Ordeals, this should work. So we're actually going to have Cecil and Yang attack, telecast Thundaga, and we'll probably die at the first cast of Thundaga. Still going to wait for the second flash. So Cecil and Yang will attack again. Thundaga will be cast. And he didn't die. So you run that risk, but he's super close to being dead. So I'm going to skip all of this cutscene right here. We're going to move on. Actually, let me go back to that battle. So ideally, when telecasts Thundaga that first time, if you take it the way that I just did it, you're going to save, I don't know, 5 seconds or so on that battle. If it doesn't work out like it just did, you're going to end up losing about 5 seconds. So it really just kind of depends on what your levels look like. I would probably suggest just running the double Thundaga route, having Cecil and Yang defend, and having telecast Thundaga twice, and that's going to end the battle for you in about 50 seconds. That split should be about 50 seconds. You just want to make sure that you are following the timing that I laid out, because he needs the water around him for the weakness to lightning to take hold. So we're going to skip to after that long cutscene. Here's where some routes will differ. I like to come down to Evelyn. We are going to grab mute arrows and 10,000 gil. The mute arrows are strong against magic creatures, and so when we fight the Magus Sisters, that makes Cecil's attacks pretty strong against them. The 10,000 gil will help us not have a shop that we need to do later. When you're coming back down, if you line yourself up with this coastline, you can see where it is on the map, you'll be able to go straight down and hopefully hit your spot. Since we're using the mute arrows, we need to come in here by the great bow. Talk to Edward. Skip ahead until we can get through all of this. All right, so we're back outside Troya. We have a menu to do. We want to remove all from Cecil. This will make sure that he's not paralyzed in the magnetic cave coming up. And again, him being naked is going to help him flee faster as we go through this cave coming up. Typically, if we don't unequip Cecil, then only Sid is unparalyzed through there, and so then we're relying on Sid to be able to run from all battles. And that's just going to be slower than giving us another character to help us run. We already need to come into the menu to make sure that we are cured up anyways, so we can go ahead and unequip Cecil while we're at it, because it takes couple, like 2 seconds to be able to do it. So, like there it is, right there. Down the menu, equip, left, remove all, and you're out. Another menuing trick, which I guess I would have been helpful at the beginning, is if you're in a menu, down in the menu right here, let's say I wanted to optimize remove all. If this is all I needed to do and I wanted to leave the menu, if you push the menu button again, you exit all the way out of the menu. This means you don't have to push the cancel button 3 or 4 times to get out of the menu. You just push the menu button and you're out. So I can be down, down in his magic menu doing something. Let's say I wanted to cure some people, and then I'm done. I hit the menu button and I go right back out. So that saves some time as well. So Cecil has healed everyone up. If somebody was dead, you would need to use a Phoenix down on them. It's possible somebody could be dead after the Kanyatso fight and the Vigan fights. And then we need to make sure that we're healed up. You'll get 1 encounter typically on the way to the Chocobo Forest up here. If you hold diagonal up and to the right, you're going straight to the Black Chocobo. If you go along the mountains diagonal, it'll get you where you need to be. You just need to be careful. The Black Chocobo will go too far and he'll go up into the hole, and you can't land in the hole. You have to land in the forest. Hunters briefly. So again, you're just running from encounters. You saw there how Tella and Yang were paralyzed, but Cecil and Sid were able to run. As we come down, we're going to jump into this room right here. We are going to grab the hourglass. We will use the hourglass on the Dark Elf once he changes, and then one more of our spider silks. Anything else to grab? All right, so when we come back in here, we need to re-equip Cecil. First of all, he needs to have the right equipment on so that we can get through the battle, but then also he needs metal equipment on so that the first part of this Dark Elf cutscene we can skip right through, because we'll be automatically dead. But again, you have to manually equip the headband. We're going to skip ahead to Sid. Nope, we're not going to optimize Sid. So he's still in Prisoner's Wear, and we are going to change that to the Iron Arrow. Somehow, yes, you're able to equip just an arrow, and that makes sure that he has iron on. Cecil has some metal on. Cecil has on metal. Tella has on metal with the iron armlet and a flame rod, and he has an iron armlet as well. We put that on him when we optimized him in the Baron weapon shop. So now we're good to go just to talk to the Dark Elf, actually. Make sure if we need to heal, we heal. And we need to use an ether on Tella because Tella is at 0 MP. If you did the 1 Thundaga route through at Kanyatso, he'll have 30 MP. But it's best to go ahead and give him the ether while you're in the menu, because you're going to need to have him do some healing after the battle's over anyways. So we're going to go ahead and give him the ether. Talk to Dark Elf. Everybody should be paralyzed, and now we don't need to wait through that cutscene. I'll skip ahead here. So we're ready to go. We're going to quickly optimize Sid and then talk to Dark Elf. But before we do that, we're going to want to start this battle with Cecil, Yang, and Sid attacking. Tella is going to cast Berserk on Cecil. In a perfect world, he's able to cast Berserk on Cecil before Cecil's first attack. But you don't want to wait too long on that, because the longer it drags on, the greater chance you have of Dark Elf getting to the point where he casts Pig on one of the characters. We can end the battle before he casts Pig, and that saves us the chance of possibly having to deal with a magic caster who can't cast magic because they're a pig. That could be either Cecil or Tella. Cecil probably does not know Asuna at this point, so he cannot heal Piggy. So if Tella is a pig and has no magic, then Cecil can't heal it, and so then we have to use an ether on Tella to get him to be able to cast Asuna, and so it just kind of takes some extra time. We can end this battle before Dark Elf turns someone into a pig, and so that's what we would like to do ideally. All that to say, if you can Berserk Cecil easily before his first attack, do so. If not, just have him attack without being Berserked. And it looks like he's not going to be able to. Berserk Cecil. So now we're good to go. Someone will always get tornadoed. Now, Tella's next turn is coming up. We want to have him defend. You can also kill him off, and that will help funnel some more EXP. But it's very likely that at this point, Dark Elf is going to try and change, and you're going to want Tella to be able to throw that hourglass. At some point in the next attack or two, Dark Elf is going to say that he's changing. He'll change into the big worm-looking creature, and then he'll be susceptible to being stopped. So we have that hourglass. We're going to stop him, and then we are going to make sure everybody defends except for Cecil and Yang. We really don't need Yang to attack here, but having Yang and Cecil attacking and everyone else defending actually sets up our auto battle for a fight coming up. The Flame Dog fight. There's a chest that we need to get in Tower of Zot. So if Cecil and Yang are attacking here and everyone else is defending, when that battle pops up, you can just let auto battle run, and you don't have to worry about any menuing during that battle. That's in a perfect world. It might not work out that way. Again, you don't need Yang to attack. Cecil will hit 2 times Berserked, and Dark Elf will be done. But let's see what happens here. See, there he goes. So he's ready to go. So rather than Tella killing himself, I'm just going to have the hourglass, Cecil attack, Yang attack, Tella and Sid defend, and Dark Elf is dead. Make sure you grab the crystal. We cannot teleport out of the crystal room, so we need to leave the crystal room. We're going to menu, and we're going to use up the rest of Cecil's magic to make sure everybody is healed up. And then we are going to use Tella's magic. Now, you'll notice we got Dark Elf to change before he cast Pig, so we don't have to try and heal Piggy on anyone, which is good, because Asuna costs 20 magic points, and it's possible Tella will have less magic than that. If he has to also cure, because we didn't fight any encounters on the way in, so it's possible Cecil would have needed to have used more magic points on the way in to cure people. So it's possible Cecil would not have had enough to cure everyone up. We would have needed to use Tella's magic to cure people, and then Tella's running short on MP. Then we have to go in and use an ether, and it just is a lot more time. So again, if we can end that battle before he casts Piggy, it's going to be for the best. So he is good. Everybody is cured up. We have enough magic to teleport out. Once you queue up the black chocobo, he's going to go right back to the forest. So when I get in the forest, I want to hold up and right. I'm going to run almost all the way, run into the black chocobo, and then go straight up from there and hit the white chocobo. That's going to refill your magic. So now Tella is ready for the next battle. We're going to grab a regular chocobo, come all the way back down, and ready to go. And I will skip ahead through some of this cutscene stuff until we get to the Tower of Zot. Okay, so here we are in the Tower of Zot. So the first thing we want to do, we're going to quickly remove all from Sid. Again, naked characters have their ATB fill faster, and these enemies are going to be harder to run from. And as a general rule, through almost all sections of the game, if I can have a naked character somewhere in the party, that's going to help me run faster. So we do that with Sid. We'll fix his equipment later. But for now, if you remember, our auto battle was already set up. Sid and Tella are defending. Cecil and Yang were attacking. Rolling. I don't have to do anything in this battle. Open the chest, let it go. And Flame Dog is dead. We get the Flame Sword and we're ready to go on. Something helpful that I learned, I don't know, a long time ago as a kid. You can get lost in this section if you mainly focus on staying on the outer edge. Outside of that Flame Dog room, that one was a little different, but if you focus staying on the outer edge, then you're going to get where you need to go. In this room here, we are going to detour. We're going to come up, grab the Gaia Hammer, and then come back down. In this last room, I think you have one more step you can go before you run into the sisters. If you get right here and we go ahead and cure, we are going to equip. We're not going to optimize Cecil. Mute arrow, great bow, and then optimize Sid. This puts a headband on him. Cecil keeps this headband. If you optimize him, he gets Flame Sword, Light Shield, and we don't want those things. We want Mute Arrow, Great Bow, Headband. And that headband, I mean, it makes a difference. Strength +5, that's the difference between this battle going quickly and going slowly. Like, it's 20 to 30 second drag on of this battle if you accidentally have the wizard hat on him. Tella has what he needs still, so he's good to go. We are ready for this fight. In my notes, I have currently, depending on when you're watching this, Cecil attacking the middle sister, Sid and Yang attacking the back sister, and Tella casting Thundaga on the back sister. That is the fastest way to get through this fight. It depends on Cecil's damage rolls. Cecil, for some reason on this battle, likes to sometimes low roll his bow shots. He should be hitting for 1500. If he's hitting randomly for 700 to 900, then there's a chance that the middle sister is going to revive the back sister before you can kill her. And that just will add some time to the fight. There's another way to do this. I will show you a couple of ways to do this. I will actually quick save here, and we'll go through this battle a couple of times. See a couple of different ways to do it. We don't usually get Tella first, but Tella, Thundaga, back sister, Cecil, middle sister, back sister, back sister. So look, Cecil just dropped to 1700, so that's really good. If he keeps doing that, then this battle is going to go quickly. So it's possible Yang or Sid will kill the back sister here. And that's Ideally, Sid would have then attacked the middle sister. So I really need to make sure that they are attacking the middle sister. Alright, so that's about as perfect as it can go. There we go. That can go wrong if, for some reason, Cecil is low rolling and you do not kill the middle sister, Cindy, before she revives the back one, who I believe is Sandy. I'm going to show you a different way that's a little safer. It might be about 5 seconds longer than what this was, but like I said, it's a little safer. Let's go back, and it's actually going to be a bit different. So in this version of it, I'm still going to have Tella do Thundaga on the back sister. Cecil's still going to attack the middle sister. I'm going to have then whoever comes up first, either Sid or Yang, is going to attack the middle sister. And then the other one, whoever's turn comes up next, will attack the front sister. And then I'm going to auto battle. Ella will kill the back sister on the second Thundaga cast. About the same time, the middle sister will die, and then the front sister will die probably the first time Cecil attacks. So, with whichever strategy that we use here, the way that we know that it's kind of faster than what might have been done in the past is Tella only has to cast Thundaga twice, ideally. The Delta attack that the sisters use, they never get to Blazara. They cast Fyra and they cast Thundara, but they never get to the Blazara round of attacks. So if you're beating out Blazara, if you are able to end the battle before they cast Blazara, then you know you're ending that battle in a pretty quick and efficient way. If you're able to end the battle before Tella casts Thundaga the third time, before he needs that third cast, then you definitely know that you have ended the battle in a very efficient way. So we're going to do this a little differently now. This protects a little bit against Cecil's low rolls. So if Cecil's low rolling his Mood Arrow attack, so you see we got Tella first again. So we're going to Thundaga there. Yang's first, so he'll attack the middle, and then Sid will attack the front. So for this one, I don't need to do any kind of changing who's attacking what. I can let auto battle run, and everything's going to fall into place. Middle sister's already dead. So watch Thundaga. She's dead. Cecil's about to hit Mindy. He's dead, and there you go. So, like I said, that's about as good as that one could have gone as well, so you kind of saw the difference there. I didn't time those just now, but what we just did might have taken 5 seconds longer. It might not have actually taken any longer. So, the way we just did it is a little safer. It eliminates the chance of the middle sister reviving the back one. I believe that's Cindy reviving Sandy in the back. And you have less menuing to do, so you don't have to possibly change from attacking the front sister to the middle sister on Yang and Sid. So it just kind of depends on how you're feeling. I honestly just found that way that I just did it. I just figured that out a couple of days ago. I might change my notes just to reflect that because it is easier. Okay, so we have quite a bit of a cutscene here. I'm going to skip ahead until we get to the Barbariccia fight. And that'll be the last fight for this video, this part 1. And part 2 will pick up before we go to the underground. So we've just come through that cutscene. This is right before Barbariccia. We want to come into a menu. We are going to do our equipping in this order. We're going to optimize Cecil, change out the headband, Cain, headband. So again, I'm pushing the R button to scroll through the characters. So Cecil gets a headband, or Kane gets a headband. We're going to remove all from Yang. He is not going to attack here. He has a tendency to miss on his attacks against Barbaricia. And even if he does land an attack, it's not for the best damage. So we are going to relegate Yang to a healing role. He is going to throw high pots. So you'll see we're going to set this up to where we can hit auto battle and let the battle just roll on. In all but maybe the rarest of occasions or rarest of circumstances, you will be able to set up auto battle and just let it run through the battle and not have to do anything. There's a small chance somebody could get killed, but I don't know, since I've started using this strat right here, that I've ever had anyone die. I think I've been able to every time just run auto battle and just let the game play itself. So we're going to remove all from Yang. We're going to optimize Sid, which I need to double check my notes because that put the mithril helmet on him, and I want him having a headband. So it's possible he... So we actually didn't need to do anything to Sid, so that's what it is. So we remove all. Remove all from Yang. So let's actually load back up the autosave there. So this starts right there, so we're going to heal everyone. Going to optimal, headband, Kane, remove all Yang, optimal Rosa, and then she's now going to get the Great Bow and the Arrow. You could give her a headband. That would increase her attack power for this battle. She's not casting any magic. She's actually not casting much magic at all, so you could give her the headband, and that will help her damage rolls. So we have cured everyone up. Everybody is fine in their order. And so here's what we're going to do in this battle. We are going to have Cecil's going to be attacking. Kane will jump. Rosa will berserk Cecil her first turn, and then she's going to aim. She will not miss when she's using aim. So that eliminates some missed attacks that Yang would be missing. Oftentimes, sometimes half or more of his attacks, Rosa's not going to miss, and her damage rolls are equal to or better than what Yang would be doing. Sid is going to throw the Bacchus Cider on himself that we picked up way back in Fabul, and then he will be attacking automatically. So Sid and Cecil will end up being berserked. Rosa will end up being using aim. Kane will be jumping, and then Yang is going to throw a high pot on the first character that gets tornadoed. And then as auto battle runs, Yang is going to throw a high pot on whoever has the lowest HP compared to their max HP, or generally the lowest HP overall. Barbaricia likes to cast Tornado, which puts the character into not only critical health, but like 1 to 5 HP left. Yang will automatically throw a high pot on that next character. His speed is already high. He has high level of speed. His agility is really high, but he's also now naked, and he's going to be running pretty quickly. So he's going to be able to throw high pots quickly for whoever gets tornadoed. Generally speaking, that should be quick enough that it happens before Barbaricia could then attack again and kill that person. Like I said, I've not had anyone die since I've been using this strat. There's another strat out there. If you watch Japanese runners, they're doing another timing mechanism. When Barbaricia goes into her tornado form, the only way to get her out is to have Kane jump, and that cancels it out. They have it timed up where they have Kane jumping right away and immediately landing when she forms the tornado. I don't know that that's any faster than what I'm doing here, and what I'm doing here I feel like is pretty easy to set up, and that you're able to just run auto battle and let the game kind of do its, run its own thing. So let's go ahead and take a look at what it looks like. Yang's probably going to get his turn first. So Cecil's attacking. Not going to worry about. So now we can berserk. So there's the tornado. So now Yang's going to throw this high pot. Careful with auto battle through here. So you don't want to mess up what you're trying to do. So Sid is now going to throw his Bacchus Cider, so he will be berserked. We'll be good to go. Yang will throw a high pot. Cecil will attack, and I need to make sure Rosa. So now we just let auto battle roll. We hope that our attacks don't miss, that our attacks high roll for better than 175. Kane is low rolling. We're hoping that Sid doesn't miss. Sid has a little bit better of a hit rate than what Yang does. So we have him attacking and not Yang. You do want to make sure, though, that you are engaging with the text at the top of the screen that comes up, so that you're not waiting for the game to scroll that text for you. Because every time you attack her in tornado form, it's going to pop up. So you want to make sure you're engaging with the text so that it scrolls through quickly. So we keep the battle speed moving. So you see Rosa just hit for 300, that's pretty good. Kane just hit for 800, that's really good. This is pretty good timing here. There will be times when Yang throws a high pot on someone who doesn't really need it. Everybody's full health, but it's not worth trying to cancel out auto battle, get him to defend, and then try to queue up high pot again later on. We have plenty of high potions, so just let it roll, let him throw the high pots. With any luck, she'll go down pretty quickly. And that's that. I'll finish out part one just showing the last couple of things that we need to do here. There's one more little trick with the airship I want to show, and we'll end this video right before we go into the dwarf castle. We can teleport into Cecil's bedroom, but unfortunately we cannot teleport out. So when you come out, you're going to be right on the airship. The tile we want to land on is 2 tiles to the right of where we are. So if I'm coming down, if I move over 2 tiles to the right, I can hopefully land right on that spot. Right here, again, push to the left on the D-pad as soon as the menu pops up. And that gets me right where I need to be. when we leave the town, we will be close enough to the airship where we don't have to actually walk. So we'll be able to hit the confirm button to fly in the airship, and if I hold the up and right button, that will get me just over the hole. Just like that. And so that is the first part of the run. I should be able to get the rest of the game into a part 2. So if you're watching this, thank you for making it this far, and hopefully this was helpful to you. You can put a message, if this is on YouTube, you can put a message in the chat at YouTube, on the YouTube channel, on the YouTube video right here. If you're on one of the Discord channels, you can send me a private message if you have a question about something, and I'm always happy to answer questions. And who knows, the route could change again, and this video could be a little outdated, but for now, hopefully this is helpful. It'll definitely get you through the game for what is now, I don't want to say it's the quickest way through the game, it's the quickest way for me, and should be simple enough to follow, especially being able to watch the video and go back and watch each section. So stay tuned for the next video if it's not already posted, and thanks for watching.